Form in line for one more fine time.
Hello, party people. Hello, Nintendo people. Hello, classics people. It's your boy Dre, and I am here with the one and only Steve.
Hey.
Anything else?
Sorry. I guess I'm a little sad now that by the time this comes out, we'll be firmly into Nintendo Classics land.
Yes, we will. We're full disclosure. We're recording this in May 2025 before Switch 2 comes out, when all the apps are supposed to be branded Nintendo Classics by that point. So we are trying to jump the gun here and just call this a Nintendo Classics show from the jump. Really? Are you okay? Are you tired of saying you have to be tired of saying Nintendo Switch Online? You have to be.
I mean, I am, but it's like we had a whole thing going with that.
Yeah, saying the entire names of the apps. Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo Switch Online just rolls off the tongue. However, Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo Classics isn't much better. But it's an improvement. It's less syllables. Anyway, I guess maybe I should explain what we're doing here. You guys have heard us do this before. We're doing the Nintendo, before it was called Nintendo Switch Online mini reviews. Now they're Nintendo Classics mini reviews. Same thing. We pick 6 games from the service, and we're just going to give exactly what it sounds like, mini reviews of them. Most of these we haven't played before or have played very little, and that's the way we want to keep it. We're not out here trying to do like, hey, Steve, you like that Wave Race Blue Storm? Everyone knows what that is. We're trying to be a little out there with this.
I don't know. I've been hearing some very positive buzz about 1080 snowboarding.
1080 snowboarding, huh? Interesting. Might have to research that one.
It's got some snow and some boards.
Okay. Why is it called 1080 snowboard? Is this like the 1080th edition?
Yeah, I mean, the first 1,079 of them were kind of meh.
Okay.
But, they finally got their shit together for the 1,080th entry.
Yeah, there's a reason why we heard of this one and haven't heard of the others, Yeah. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We just picked 6 games, and we're going to start with the first one now. Our first game up this session is WinBack. WinBack was released in October 99 for Nintendo 64, developed by Omega Force and published by Koei. Steve, did you know Omega Force went back that far? Because I did, but I wasn't sure if you...
No. I mean, I've seen the ads for this game, but I had no idea this was them.
Yeah, they definitely... I think they made the first Dynasty Warriors, the one that was a fighting game. I think that's where they legit started. Anyway, WinBack is a third-person tactical cover shooter. One of the first of its kind, actually. It's kind of a pioneering game, believe it or not. Because, way before The Division or Vanquish or Gears of War, there was WinBack, Steve.
Gotta start somewhere.
And if you listen to our first Nintendo Switch Online show we did way before we started doing the mini reviews, you probably heard us touch on WinBack before. But now that I actually have the N64 controller for Switch, so I can properly play this game, because using anything else for a Nintendo 64 controller is just hell for me. Gotta have the real thing. But so now that I have it, I wanted to circle back to WinBack now that it's not completely obnoxious to control. And here we are. Also, the tutorial guy in WinBack is named Steve. So I think this is just meant to be.
Okay, I should fully disclose that I did not own the WinBack game in 1999. And I still didn't care for this when I first played it on our other show. And I'm playing this at Andre's urging mostly.
Urging, he says.
Yes, and I'm also did not buy the Nintendo 64 controller to play this.
But you have one.
No.
No?
I don't have money for controllers. You kidding me?
How do you play any of these games without that thing? It's impossible.
Not entirely.
Are you going to say words into the microphone?
Okay, so there's this magical thing called the GameCube controller, and I think that's a better Nintendo 64 controller than
what the hell
Nintendo
does that
64
have to do with WinBack? What does that have to do with anything?
You're the one asking me about.
What are you doing? Anyway, tell me how much you hate the game now because you're playing it with a shitty Pro controller.
Oh, look, that's fine. It's just fine. I mean, you get used to where it's trying to be. You go behind cover and you shoot things. I mean, I know you say you don't really need cover, but I feel like it is because when you stand out there, you're a sitting duck.
Wait. When did I say you don't need cover? You absolutely need cover in this game. I would never say that.
I mean, you say I think you said something to me once that stealth isn't the name of the game, and to me, that's a big part of it. Needing cover.
Stealth isn't. I mean, those are related concepts. They're not the same concept.
In this game, they might as well be the same concept because once they see your ass, you're done for.
I don't think so. You have a pretty big health bar.
Yes, and the music does get more intense when it goes down, and I do hear the dun 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 a lot because I'm fucking almost dead all the time. But
yeah, it's quite a bit. I've always had a soft spot for WinBack, but here's the thing: I liked it back in the day, right? Looking at it now with a more critical eye, Steve, I like it even more. I love this game. You know what? I always appreciate the way they really tailored this for the N64 in a way other developers didn't. Now, obviously, this was like not a PS1 port or anything like that. This was made for N64. But you know how that shit goes. Between PlayStation, N64, and Saturn, those are the most three incompatible fucking systems we've ever had at once. you know? Yeah. So, like, for it to make this for N64, like the texture work on the characters' faces and clothes is like exceptional for the hardware. Like, that's the thing we always ding Nintendo 64 for, is those blurry, smeary textures, and rightfully so. But WinBack doesn't really have that. They're like, I don't know if they just use a big cartridge size or something, but like they really went for realism here, and it's pretty admirable. You have to admit it looks the part.
Yes, Andre, it looks very nice for a Nintendo 64 game.
Oh, through gritted folks at home, did you hear those teeth gritting? Did you hear that jaw clenched? He just couldn't stand saying that out loud.
I don't know. I just feel like James Bond dies less in GoldenEye than Wally WinBack does here.
Get good, bro. Get good at WinBack.
Okay, I would like to get good at WinBack, but he barely moves. It's like, and again, I liked it a lot more trying to meet it where it was this time, but it's very disheartening when very occasionally you got guys that move a lot better than you do, stabbing you in the knee with one thing, and then you go, oh, done. Again and again, I'm like, and you were sending me your own video of that, so you can't deny that wasn't happening.
Oh, that's a thing. That is a thing. Checkpoints are pretty jitterish in this game, though. Plus, do you like the why is that so arcadey? Why does it have a continue countdown from 20 seconds? Like, why is that a thing? You have to put in more quarters?
Why do we need that?
It's so weird. Well, because, like, here's the thing. I understand, like, back in the 8 and 16-bit days, we were trying to emulate arcade games, whether they were arcade games or not. But, like, in the N64 era, we largely stopped doing that. But WinBack has that. I don't know why.
I guess they want to make sure you're committed with the memory card that we don't get to bring along here.
Yeah, the N64 Nintendo Classics does not emulate the controller pack, so you kind of just have to make your own saves, which is fine because the system lets you do that. However, it is weird that why wouldn't they let you do that the quote unquote real way? Because you know me, I always choose that if I can.
I sure hope in the future when GameCube is out that we can just save natively, because as you may recall, that's all memory cards all the way down.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Well, by the time this episode comes out, we'll know the answer to that. So I guess we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to give WinBack a B+. I want to give this an A or A- so bad. I'm not. I'm going to be objective here. I'm trying to look at this the best I can.
Mr. I'm never nostalgic, but I'm going to be objective and give it a B+.
Yeah, B+ for WinBack, even though my heart says I want to give it higher.
I'm being nicer today. WinBack gets a C.
Jesus Christ. Let's go on to our next game.
Our next game is Super Ninja Boy, released in 1993 for Super Nintendo in North America and 1991 in Japan. It fucking shows.
It sure does.
Developed and published by Culture Brain and part of a series in Japan known as Super Chinese. Uh-oh.
I'm sorry. Throughout the course of playing this game, we discovered that there is indeed a series in Japan called Super Chinese. And, I think Kung Fu Heroes on NES is part of that series. I don't think we got too many of these here, but Steve, obviously I don't need to, Super Chinese. Enough said, I guess.
What else can we say about that?
Nothing without getting in trouble. So let's move on.
It's a hybrid JRPG beat 'em up, and I am sure there is at least one indie developer that got wet thinking about that.
Oh, dude, this is exactly the kind of game they make. And it's not even as good as Super Ninja Boy, which isn't really that good. Sorry to spoil, but it's true. These are mini reviews, so we try not to go over all the minutia, but I got to talk about the first town in Super Ninja Boy. Because every NPC in that place is astonishingly horny. Did you notice this?
Yes.
It was crazy. I'll just read some of the NPC dialogue when I went around and talked to people. I'll just read them verbatim. One guy says, "Many girls want to go out with me." Yeah. Another guy says, "Only a few hard workers go out with girls. I wish I could go too." You talk to this lady on the left and she says, "When Rubadoc came here, I got excited at him, but I'm sad now because he leaving."
Oh,
Rubadoc?
That is a character in the game, but even in context, it doesn't really make too much sense.
Yeah, you were not introduced to Rubadoc yet. Rubadoc just sounds like a disgusting, masseuse who just takes advantage. Never mind. Another girl says, "He's a nice man. I'm in love with him. I'm too old for him, though." "Many men were taken away, and my boyfriend was one of them. I'm very lonely."
Fake. Fake.
This is not JV title thriller fake. I promise. Anyway, that's the level of dialogue we're dealing with in Super Ninja Boy. I'm sorry, I just had to do that. So anyway, what did you think of this, Steve? I feel like you should start.
Yeah, because I really wanted to like this thing, but it doesn't want me to, at all. For starters, like WinBack, even though this is a Super Nintendo game, there's no real save system, but there's a huge-ass password structure thing going on that would make Metroid and Kid Icarus cry.
I think that's pretty unacceptable for a game like this. I wonder if this is one of those situations where they cheaped out in North America and they just didn't give us a battery backup and Japan had it.
I don't know. Even Mystical Ninja was doing that on Super Nintendo here, and that's a much better game. But
well, that's something Konami would do. Konami USA would do. So, yeah.
But we are playing on Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo Classics, so that's already the biggest hurdle eliminated. But you still got to deal with everything else this game left behind. There's no map in a JRPG of the overworld, so in a world where they want you to keep going back and forth to things, that's kind of shitty.
It's not a big map, though. It's not that big.
It doesn't feel that way, but then there's so many random encounters that are so frequent that sometimes they trigger as soon as you leave the last one without even pushing the D-pad.
Yeah, we both of us have gotten into random encounters as soon as we completed our last one without touching a single thing.
And then there's two different battle systems. Yes, there's two. One of them is we have River City Ransom at home, and the other one is this is technically an RPG battle screen, and they both kind of suck.
You can do that though, right? Like Sword of Vermilion had two battle systems, essentially. They had a boss one and they had a, regular one with the blue stick. So you can do it, but you got to be Sword of Vermilion,
Sword of Vermilion was kind of worth it, though. This was decidedly not. You just push buttons and hope the other guy misses. The game just keeps going, though, and that's the other thing. If it ended at a reasonable point, it would be okay, but they just drag it the fuck out for what it is.
Yeah. It's a early SNES game in that regard. So, well, okay, I'm not going to be as harsh as Steve here. I do think Super Ninja Boy has some merit. Has a lot of charm. We can't deny that. Like,
yeah,
the super Chinese of this is definitely like in effect.
I'm not going to repeat that, but yes, it's in effect.
What? Super Chinese is now a slur? It's what it's called. I'm sorry, I didn't make it up.
I am sure someone's looking to cancel a white guy for saying that.
Oh, okay, so I'm allowed. I am 0% Asian, so I'm allowed to say it any more than you are? Like, I mean, what are you doing to me right now?
I don't know. There's just something wrong about saying the super Chinese is in effect.
I just look, man. Okay, see, nobody would have even thought about it. Now you're trying to get me canceled. Like nobody would have even. This would have washed over him.
No one's trying to cancel anybody.
Oh my god. Anyway, it has a lot of charming, like goofy charm. I love like the use of like. That battle theme is just like a weird little 12-bar blues thing, which is like not Chinese at all. Like the music in this game is very like Asian styled, Yeah. But then that battle theme is like the blues, like the American blues. It's like, okay, that's kind of weird, but I don't know. It gives it like a certain goofy spark that I can't deny that I like. It really accentuates the anything goes spirit of the whole gameplay thing, which is like great. Like, I know, like, the combat is slow and it's weird and it runs like ass. Like, I mean, we want to talk like early SNES games usually have a lot of slowdown. This, Steve, ooh, it's up there. It's really up there.
It's a good thing the music is somewhat appealing because, oh boy, they make you listen to it for a while.
It runs like molasses, but I don't know. I guess the worst thing I could say about the combat is that it's boring, which, as we always say, is the worst thing a game could be, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just a little dull. I don't think it's horrendous. I really don't. And I think conceptually, Super Ninja Boy is so out there that I love weird RPGs. I can't help it. Like, I'm not saying this game is great by any means, but I think I just appreciate it on that level. And like, yeah, just because I admire something doesn't mean it's good, but we're also not talking about a game off the shelf here. We're talking about Nintendo classics, something you likely already have if you have a Switch or a Switch 2. So for a game on a subscription service that you already have, sure, go for it.
Oh, well, yeah, you should absolutely go in and muck around in it for a while, but I couldn't go in for the long haul, and the longer of a haul I tried to make it go for, the less fun I was having.
I'm going to give it, I know I'm being generous, I'm going to give it a C.
This is marred by my own experience, but D for me, but only because I was in there too long.
Wow, okay. Let's move on to the next game. Our next game is Uncharted Waters: New Horizons, released in 1994 for Super Nintendo, developed and published by Koei. And it's a world-faring nautical simulator with a JRPG veneer that only Koei could make, Steve.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know what better description. You're at sea. You're doing things. You are exploring those uncharted waters. The name does not lie to you, and you are indeed seeing new horizons.
You sure fucking are.
So growing up, I saw this game in magazines a lot. You know, like, and I've always known it. Okay, you too. So I've always known it to be called Uncharted Waters New Horizons. However, the box art for the game just says New Horizons. So how would anyone know this is an Uncharted Waters sequel? The Uncharted Waters sequel is the second one. The first one was just called Uncharted Waters. Nobody would know this is a sequel if they weren't already in the know. So I did a little digging, and it turns out the actual cartridge itself and the manual say the Uncharted Waters part. I checked the Genesis version as well, and it's the same thing. It's like, okay, then, like...
Clearly they know better than us.
Do they?
Are you going to fight the people that made Aerobiz?
Absolutely not. Koei in the 16-bit era is so fucking goated. I would never... I mean, why would I ever say a bad word? And I'm not about to say a bad word about Uncharted Waters New Horizons either. Jesus Christ, Steve. This one is a banger. Okay, straight up. Let's start here. Is this the best game we've ever played on one of these shows?
It's top fiver, if not the number one.
What's better?
I can't think of anything immediately.
Because I can't either. Like, holy shit, this game is incredible. You want to start? Say something good about Uncharted Waters New Horizons. Pick anything.
I mean, it's so fucking in-depth. There's a cast of 8 guys or gals?
6.
Okay, 6. Maybe 6. And they all got different objectives you gotta do. Mine's a broke-ass guy from Spain, and he's being bought out by this sponsor. Like, go find me things. Here's a telescope and a sextant, and those are real expensive things in the game, but his little dinghy doesn't go very far, and he will not fight against pirates, but he's real good at finding shit. I'm like, okay.
I picked the guy who is from England, Otto, and my king just says, hey, go colonize everybody. Go be an asshole colonizing prick. So that's exactly what you do. You go pick on the Spaniards for no reason. Start picking off their merchant ships and whatever. So basically you're sending to pirate them. I took the pirate path. Not that I knew that when I picked it, but damn, it was fun. So it's funny that we picked 2 very different objectives here.
It's a very open-ended game too, because technically all of these things are open to you because technically I could go up and fight pirates anytime I want, but it's a very bad idea. I thought I was doing a good thing by outfitting my little piece of shit ship with some guns to protect myself, but hey, there's a pirate over there. Let me go fight him. No. Shot my shit down in 5 seconds. Like technically these options are open to you. I can go into town and be like, hey, it'd be great if you shot down these pirates. Like, with my piece of shit? No, we're not doing that.
How is that? How about that nautical battle system too? That shit's crazy, man.
Very in-depth for what it is in 1994.
For any time, dude. I've never played anything like that ever. Like, you can obviously tell they're pulling from their, like, Nobunaga's ambition and, like, Romance of the Three Kingdoms experience to, like, do this. However, it doesn't feel like either of those games at all.
Guess they're trying to make it feel like repositioning a ship as best as they can at the time.
Right. And you can't just, like, it's not like other tactical games where you could kind of just, like, move your ship in any direction. You got to go with the wind. Just like a real ship, you can't just turn around on a dime, start going back the other way.
This ain't Advance Wars where I can just turn around my battleship every day.
Yeah, you can't just have this big-ass tank on this one road, just go right back the other, turn a 180, just flip a bitch in the middle of the street. Just go. Okay, forgive me for how long I'm about to talk, but I think there's a good way for me to explain how in-depth this game is, how deep it is. And that would be to just detail straight up the gameplay step by step. So here goes. So as I said, I was playing an asshole colonizer from England who's trying to conquer Spain for whatever reasons, which means I need to start picking on them. So I attack one of their merchant ships. I can't really attack one of their other types of their navy fleets or whatever. So I go after a merchant. Okay, so I beat them, right? Because they're merchants. They have tons of olive oil. Should I take their olive oil? I might have to dump some of my food to be able to do that. Will I have enough food to get back to the next port? I don't know.
But Andre, crew members usually like food to live.
You mean you can't subsist off of olive oil?
I mean, maybe you dip some of the hardtack in olive oil, but
you ever see those YouTube videos that make like stuff like hardtack and like old foods like that?
yeah.
Yeah, that shit's like really, I would love to try it. Not like make it myself. I just want to like eat it. I would love to see what that tastes like. Anyway, so like, yeah, do I have enough food to make it back? I'm trying to balance like reward versus like staying alive at that rate. And that skirmish left me with very little crew left, which means I need to set my available crew to navigation and not combat or anything else, because that makes my ship move the fastest so I can get back to the port. You know, so I make it, I sell the olive oil, I patch up my ship, I hire more crew at the cafe, quote unquote. We all know it's a bar, but it's a cafe.
Andre, they're playing the piano in there, not the piano, the piano, you know.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. You know, it's the piano. It's a bar.
I can still hear the saloon piano when you walk into that bar. Dun, 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 dun. It's so good. The music in this game is incredible, Steve. Holy shit.
And not to be the music snob this time, but could you imagine putting yourself through that on the Genesis?
No. Oh my God. Sometimes I get curious about that shit and I look up like different versions of the game. I don't want to hear the Genesis version. I will never hear that. I do not want to know. Never ruin that shit for me. I'm hearing Super Nintendo glory here. This is some of the most well-produced, cleanest sounding music I've ever heard on this system, Steve. Ever.
It's just so good. You go into town and they got music depending on the region. You go out to sea and you know it's real seafaring stuff, and except when it rains, it's like, oh, your shit might be sinking.
Yep. I haven't encountered much rain in my playtime, which was a lot of playtime. I played this for like 30 hours.
I was encountering a lot of rain because, well, I really want you to find this thing in Africa, and it's really rainy on that particular coast, and I was hugging that coast for a while, playing a lot of freaking blackjack and making a lot of money, and now I have some ships that might be able to take on pirates. But see, that's the thing about this game. You can be playing it, no two playthroughs are alike.
Nope. Even if you pick the character and you have that one objective, the way you tackle that objective, it's really up to you. But anyway, as I was saying, yeah, you go to the cafe, I hired a new first mate, and you negotiate salary with him. He wanted like $50. I talk him down to 40 a month, you know, so you got to do that as well. And then the next thing I need to do is that I need to dock in Barcelona next, which is obviously Spain. Hey, wait, the Spanish hate me because I just did that thing. So I need to dock at night so they don't catch on to me. So none of the guards catch me. Did you have to do anything like that?
Well, again, I don't have any political alliances other than I'm Spanish. So lots of people hate Spain. So there's a lot of things where I just have to go in at night. I didn't realize that was what was going on at first because I was doing some kind of favor for somebody, trying to find some kind of debt hopper guy. Like, oh, I guess I can't go into this town. And I don't know, I was getting desperate. So I went back in and like, then I figured out that's how it works. I'm like, you could just sneak in at night. No one guards the ports at night.
Did you know, because this game has a real-time day-night system, because why wouldn't it, right? Did you know that there's some shops that are only open at like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m.?
No.
Yeah. They sell stuff. That's how I got my bastard sword. Because at 2 a.m., one of the I forget where I was. It may have been Istanbul. I'm not sure. I went in there, and at 2 a.m., the shop was mysteriously open, and they were selling stuff that they don't. It's almost like a night market thing. Kind of like a secret thing. And I don't know I don't remember if I read that in the manual. By the way, can we talk about that? The game we're talking about here is Ocean Deep. Sorry for the pun. And that book you get with your Super Nintendo copy back in the day is thick. It is like 70 pages of stuff. Guess what's not available in Nintendo Classics? So guess what PDF we passed around between each other?
Okay. In a previous creative endeavor, I played a very similar game to this on Switch, Neo Atlas 1469 by Art Dink.
Yep. And
it was very similar to this. You're literally discovering the world. And it was tutorialized as all hell because modern games don't have manuals. This game has a very robust 67-page manual detailing all this shit we had to look up and tell each other about between the two of us.
Yep.
Can we please get some of this on the app in Nintendo Classics, please?
We do find a way to mention this most episodes where we talk about this, and never has it been more true than right now because it details so much. We don't have to tell you guys what's in these manuals for like these dense games like this. You need the manual because that's what tells you how to play the game. You need it.
And Andre, this wasn't even the only big ass game like this in this update. There were 2 other Nobunaga's Ambition games and Romance of the Three Kingdoms game.
Yeah, Romance 4.
And I'm sure those are also, packed with stuff and terms and things. Romance definitely was. It was on Wii Virtual Console where I played that, and that had a digital manual for you to sift through.
It's so wild that we had that stuff, and they just do not do that here. They really, really, really should. And I get, like, it wasn't the actual, like, manual scans. They had, like, a thing that they wrote themselves for the Virtual Console game that you downloaded, but still, man, like, come on. Anyway, it's easy enough to look up online, so I'm not, like, dinging the game for that. That's Nintendo's fault, but, just look up the manual if you were to ever play this on Nintendo Classics, of course. But, yeah, you have to make the decisions, man. Like, should I upgrade my cannons or just get a different ship? Right? Should I buy a new ship? Should I have the shipyard build me a ship, which takes time, or should I buy a used ship that's already there? Right? Which I don't know what condition it's in. Like, should I try to get lucky and beat a pirate to take their ship? Right? Challenge them to a duel. Oh, the duel song. Did you get to hear that? I know you didn't do a lot of fighting and
I did not get to hear the duel song. Sorry.
Really? The one-on-one duel song?
No.
Oh, man, it's this 11/8 time fucking little jazzy. Oh, it's so good. I'll send it to you after we record this. Anyway, all these things I said are actual decisions you make in the game. This is not dictated by some sort of story-driven event or like scripted missions or whatever. These are all things you are choosing to do or not do in this super open-ended structure. Menus upon sub-menus and sub-sub-menus. Steve, it's... back in the day, this is not me, right? I was an arcade gamer. So I would imagine this would have made my 12-year-old head swim. However, if I had a strategy guide that kind of like talk me through this, I think I would have really enjoyed this game. I would have needed a lot of help, but I definitely would have gotten into it. And then after that, I probably like, no, I can figure this out. I don't need this stupid book and like toss it across the room. Right? Try to get bold until I get stuck again, and then I go back to the book, crawling back to the book. Anyway, if you got anything else to say about Uncharted, I know this is going longer than a mini review, but I'm sorry, this game is just incredible.
I mean, we can easily go on all night, but I think this is one of the easiest A's we've ever handed out, right? I'm handing it an A.
I want to give it an A+ so bad. I don't... I want to. It's so good. I'm going to also give it an A. But just know I'm very, very close to giving it that plus. I bet if I were to play it for another 10 hours, I would get it.
See, that's the thing. I haven't played. I know I've only scratched the surface. If I played it like another bazillion hours, I'm sure it'd be an A+ for me too.
Just absolute great stuff. Let's move on to our next game.
Our next game is Sutte Hakkun. And this gets a little messy, so bear with us. It's a cozy puzzle platform game with 5 different versions made by Indie Zero and Nintendo R&D 2.
5?
And they're all called this, so... There were 3 different versions on Satellaview across 1997 and 1998, along with a Christmas version, if you're into that. A Nintendo Power version, the cartridge writing service, and not the magazine, released in 1998. And finally, one for cartridge in 1999. And that's the one we get to play here in Nintendo Classics. It's worth mentioning because the one we're playing here has 100 levels, which is a good package, but it's not all the levels.
So you're saying that like there's 3 Sutte Hakkun games released on Satellaview that had like varying amounts of levels, and 100 of those levels are collected in this cartridge version that we now have here on Nintendo Classics?
Yes.
That makes me wonder how many levels there were total. Wow.
I'm not even sure, because I know some of them overlap. And anyway, Andre, I love this fucking game. You're this cloud bird thing, and you pick things up and put them down with your beak, and then you can also inject them with color from inkwells and make them do their own things. And it's just so quintessentially Super Nintendo in its coziness.
It is. It really is.
And the music is similarly top shelf Super Nintendo, and it needs to be, because these puzzles get fucking tough.
Yeah, they get. I'm gonna confess right now. I'm a big old dummy dum dum. I cannot play much of this game. My brain just doesn't work that way. I really like it though. I've tried, and they take me an embarrassing amount of time, but I can do it.
They encourage you to play around with not encourage you. They force you to play around with the parameters of the game fairly early on. There's a lot of times where you got to tuck blocks into walls and what have you to solve puzzles. So while you're mulling all that through, yeah, okay, it's a great thing that we have all these bangers to listen to, which is to say, Sutte Hakkun on Nintendo Music when?
Have they released anything on there that is not like region? Do we have our own regions Nintendo Music? I actually don't know.
No, the best we've gotten was the F-Zero X expansion pack thing. Those
no,
tracks.
I'm saying that, like, is there a Nintendo Music app that is for the Japanese region that has like different music?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I like I just said, there's been a few times there was the F-Zero X expansion pack that they were nice enough to give us, and the Famicom disk system versions of soundtracks have popped alongside the NES versions, but there's nothing been specific region only that I know about yet.
All right. I don't know. I think this is a cool little game. It's like I said, I honestly don't even have a whole lot to say about it. It's basically this segment is serving as a public service announcement that you should definitely play this. Don't be scared by the fact that the box art is Japanese. I'm sure people see that and it's like, oh, I probably can't read or play this game. I promise that you can. All the important stuff in the game is in English, as was the case back then. So again, even if you're a big old dummy dum dum like me and take way too long to figure out the puzzle, you will have fun doing so. I never sat there and it's like, this is boring, and just started playing something else. No, Sutte Hakkun is really worth it. It's so simple and so fun. Just really great stuff.
I kind of just want more of it, even though I'm only 60 something levels in. I mean, one of those super giganto leaks where they had whatever's popped in that revealed a Game Boy Color version, and that's online now. Like, come on, can we get that?
Did that come in like the Giga leak a few years ago or something?
Yeah,
or like,
one of those. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's online now. Like, or can we get like some of these other levels from these other versions curated into a pack? Or a new game. I know Indie Zero still exists.
You're fiending for more Sutte Hakkun.
Okay, but did you listen to the tracks? I'm turning into you. Did you listen to that music though?
It's great. It's really good stuff.
That Super Nintendo music though.
It's really good stuff. Did they ever find Sound Fantasy in the Giga Leak?
I don't know.
Yeah, see, I wonder if that's like actually playable somewhere. I'll have to look it up. Anyway. Anything else about Sutte Hakkun?
No, it's like you just said. There's not too much for us to glom onto like we did for Wrecking Crew 98. It's just the perfect little game for this app. Go play it.
Grade?
An A- for me.
I'll give it a B+ for Sutte Hakkun. Let's move on to our next game. Our next game is Light Crusader, released in 1995 for the Sega Genesis. Steve, isn't it weird that presumably, again, we are recording this before they have changed the name of the apps, but presumably the app is 2 weeks. Presumably, it's going to be called now Sega Genesis Nintendo Classics, which is gonna be weird as hell.
My favorite Nintendo classic, Vector Man.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2, a true Nintendo classic. Light Crusader was published by Sega and developed by Treasure. It's unlike any other Treasure game ever made because it's an isometric action-adventure game. Steve, Treasure doesn't really do that.
They never made one again after this.
Okay, come on. Where's the sassy bit? Gee, I wonder why. Come on, give it to me.
No, look. I put this off forever because it's been reissued a bunch. And like other Genesis games, I always figured I'd get to it a little later and so on. But here we are today, and it's weird.
It's so weird.
It is weird. I mean, it starts off like nothing you've ever played from Treasure before. And it really does feel like a Camelot outing, if we're being real.
Kinda.
Because, it honestly feels better than that because, they did make the slightly better known Landstalker, which is another isometric action-adventure game on the Genesis, and I can't stand that game despite playing it.
I do not like that game either. I've heard about that game so much back in the day in magazines. I was like, oh yeah, Landstalker, can't wait to play it. Gave it a good 6 hours or something, and I was like, I can't stand. I don't want to play this anymore.
I lost my mind trying it on Wii, and then I tried it again on that pack on the Switch, and I soft locked myself. I'm like, I don't need to play this anymore.
Yeah, that's enough Landstalker.
But then again, we did play WinBack twice. No, we don't need to do more Landstalker. But anyway,
I'll give it another chance. If you want to try Landstalker on here sometime, I will do it.
But anyway, Light Crusader's pretty neat. You're a knight on vacation, and what better shit is there for you to do than help the neighboring kingdom with their nonsense going on in their basement? You gotta beat the shit out of goblins, mages, slimes, and what have you, uncovering the mystery of what's going on while smushing together the magic tiles to help you clear rooms more easily. And the bosses, where look at all them treasure cubes in there.
It's good stuff. I've always had an affinity for Light Crusader, and I still do. Like, I love the movement, man. You're scooting around town. You're moving and schmoving. The dungeons are move at a nice, satisfying pace. The people aren't talking to you too much, right? There's not a bunch of lore you don't care about. You're just moving and jumping and slicing and puzzle solving. It's really good. It's nice and snappy. It's very arcadey. And it's kind of like what you just said. It's snappy in a way that isometric top-down games simply usually aren't, especially from this era. And because, again, Landstalker does not feel good in the hands at all, in my opinion. Light Crusader absolutely does. Also, the physics engine is bizarre. You're like bouncing off of stuff, and you're like making weird jumps onto other stuff. I don't know. It's like very weird physics.
That's where I started having problems later on, because there are some near pitch perfect puzzles they want you to do, like block these flames, but don't get hurt yourself, or you better hit all these switches just so you can get the treasure and open the doors. And it's like, okay, I fucking get it. Or do I? Maybe I'm not getting it, because there were a few times where my dumbass needed to hop on YouTube because some were driving me that crazy. And I'm like, no, I get it, but I am getting it. I'm just not getting the timing right. So back to it.
I mean, I wouldn't say those things frustrated me. They're definitely not ideal. They are a bit stickier than they need to be, but I wouldn't say they're like nothing there is a deal breaker.
Oh, nothing there was. It was definitely worth, like you just said, generally bouncing around through the dungeons and finding my way back to the bottom and then back up to the top to deal with the whiny king and townspeople about their other problems on top.
Do you like how there's just mini teleporters in the castle? It's like, oh, this just goes here to this part of the dungeon. Okay, sure. I love it. It's very Kadash, isn't it? I think that's what I know. I always bring everything back to Kadash. I'm sorry. But like, it really is this time. Especially, they definitely take some design cues from Kadash, especially the way the information boxes pop up. That sound effect, you know what I mean? That sort of clicky, almost like Windows 3 sound effect.
Yeah.
I love that commitment to the snappiness. Instead of making you dig through menus and interrupting gameplay and all these people talking to you, they just kind of give it to you. I love that about Light Crusader. Doesn't waste your time.
Definitely stick with it if you started. Like once you get to the bottom, I'm not going to tell you what's at the bottom. Fight your way to the bottom. It's worth it.
What would you give Light Crusader?
Full disclosure, I gave this a C+ right at the start, but I think I talked myself up to a B.
Wow, you're going to bump it up that far. I will also give Light Crusader a B. That is exactly what it deserves. What did you... Okay, so like, when you gave it that C+, did you just not... I don't know.
I was getting kind of frustrated with some of the puzzles towards the end.
Okay.
Like, where it was like, okay, I fucking get it. We need to pad this out a bit more.
Gotcha. Okay, well, B's from both of us for Light Crusader. Let's move on to our final game.
Our last game for the evening or morning on your commute, I'm not your dad, is Shadow Man, released in August 1999 for the Nintendo 64. Developed and published by Acclaim, it's a weird action-adventure game that takes place in hell?
Question mark? I don't know. I mean, it kind of feels like it's hell.
Before we go too much further, holy hell, that intro, Andre. I don't know what's goofier, the premise or the acting. I must be dead to build your castle. Okay. And then he just kills himself.
Yeah. What? It's insane from the jump. It's like, what the hell is this? I was about to say I would have loved this back in the day, but I love it now. Like, so
I don't know what we're doing, but I'm here.
And quite frankly, I did have it back in the day because since I wasn't a peasant, I had Shadow Man on Dreamcast. Yes, there was a port for Dreamcast, but I never really got very far in it, nor do I remember anything about it, to be quite honest. So I consider this Nintendo Classics version to be my first real playthrough of Shadow Man. And, okay, so before we get started here, the box art of Shadow Man says in the upper left corner, and I'll read it, says, "Warning, this game is recommended for mature audiences only. It contains adult content." All right. I mean, shouldn't the mature rating already tell us that? The ESRB rating? Like, why do we need another warning on top of that?
I think it was just a symptom of the time, somewhere between South Park controversy and Columbine. I'm just remembering this push for things to be more abrupt with warnings for a time. Now we got a Columbine every week, and who fucking said that?
What? Who said what? Wow. You're telling me gun violence doesn't come from video games? Oh my God. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, it was just a different time.
It was a very different time, yeah. I mean,
Conquer had its own separate warning saying, hey, don't be under 17 and buying this either.
Do you remember the early box arts for Concert made the mature rating, the ESRB rating, ridiculously huge? It was huge, and it was like askew. It was tilted a bit, so you just couldn't miss it. It was like damn near a sixth of the box.
No.
You don't remember this?
No.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Very early box art. And then by the time it came out, it was the regular ESRB size.
Okay.
Yeah. This is one of the few N64 games, along with Wipeout 64 and a couple others I played, Steve, where Shadow Man has loading screens. You don't really see that on this system.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd duck that way. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, I just wonder
what especially long, but...
Yeah, they're not super obtrusive, but it is definitely, and I'm not saying it's a detriment. I mean, look, you got to decompress whatever's in that cartridge the way you need to do it, because Steve, this game has full ass spoken dialogue for the cutscenes, and I'm really glad they do, because what is this?
Whatever it is, these people are committed.
They had a concept, baby. They had a concept. I don't even want necessarily, I mean, this is a mini review. We can't go into too in depth, obviously, but definitely play this on your Nintendo Classics on Switch or Switch 2, everybody. And even if you just play the intro, you need to see what we're talking about. This is wild shit. What do you? I mean, what? I mean, come on, just give me something like what the voodoo lady, his fake girlfriend or something, or like
they spend a long time in the beginning, like trying to sell you the premise. I'm like, okay, I get it. You're dead. I'm sold already. like on one hand, you want to start the game, but on the other hand, you kind of don't because they're like.
I was in no hurry to. I would have watched that scene for an hour. If it was an hour long, I would have been okay with it. So Shadow Man uses the controller pack to save originally, but as we said about WinBack, that's not something they emulate on Nintendo Classic. So you have to use the menu save, the save state, if you will, to save in Shadow Man, which again, not a big deal, but I don't know. It's just weird. I would have liked to have seen how that worked, but but for that reason, it's hard to get a grasp on the game's difficulty as a result, because because you can save wherever you want, you can kind of mitigate, a lot of things as you can with any game where you just save state massively, right? So I kind of would have liked to experience it from the quote unquote real way I was supposed to play it, but that's not really possible here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still having a hard time with this game, Andre. If I'm being real, even with being able to save everywhere.
Why is that?
Because I love the premise and atmosphere. I cannot take away from the premise and atmosphere. But actually playing it is kind of a nightmare, and that's my own fault because I get lost in these kinds of situations where I keep setting it down for lengths of time, and I pick it up again, and it's like, what the fuck was I doing again?
Oh, yeah. And it's very tough. That's very tough in old 3D action adventure games, man. You just need to keep playing it, because if you don't have if you forget for a second, oh yeah, when I get this key, I'll go back to that other place that I saw. But after a week, me and you are the same on this, where it's like, we will forget.
In another instance of Steve attempts to meet this game in 1999, I tried game faxing a hint. The N64 version of this game, at the very least, maybe the Dreamcast version did too, came with a big-ass fold-out map.
Oh.
Hey, Nintendo, supplementary materials. Can we get some of those?
Look, I'm not saying they need to go full Namco Museum PS1 on our ass. At the same time, like, a couple things would be nice. But I think they just figure everyone just looks up everything on their phone now and, whatever. But it would be very nice if those things were just in the app. It really would. At least give us the QR code like the mini consoles do, the TurboGrafx 16 Mini has that, the Sega Genesis Mini and Mini 2 have that. Just do the QR code and you can go to the page. Dude, I would have never figured out how to play Sewer Shark without that QR code, ever. So I had to read the manual. Shadow Man, tell me if you think I'm right. Shadow Man feels like a microcosm of this entire era of video games in its structure and like just action adventure games of that time. I feel like a lot of them were like Shadow Man.
Yeah, that feels kind of right.
It's just, I don't know. To me, it feels like the exact kind of action adventure game that this generation both excelled at and also faltered at. Because by 1999, we still didn't fully understand how to do this in 3D, and until I played this game again, I forgot how much this era had to fake environments that felt expansive, but were anything but expansive, like you're just going down the path.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, and like, here are these giant sloping walls, like just boxing you in. You're just going to go this way.
And then there's the occasional pretend mazes that may or may not bring you back to where you were, or maybe somewhere else. Or if only I had some sort of frame of reference for.
There's also like a lot of swimming,
and it's still debatable whether we know how to do that today.
There's a lot of swimming, and it's a lot of like, man, I love the shadow gun. Can I say that much?
Oh, the shadow gun.
That's a great weapon.
They give you a real gun in the real world, and then you die, and then it turns into a shadow gun. Like,
yeah. 1999, everybody. Just excellent stuff. I love Shadow Man. Can you tell? I love this game. I don't give a fuck. Flaws and all. It is not perfect, but it is really straightforward for the most part. Obviously, we said you can get lost, but straightforward in terms of like how to play it. You know what you're supposed to do. A matter of how to do it is different, right? But you know what you're supposed to do. And it's very 1989 in both the good and bad ways, but it's just fun to shoot stuff and jump around and shadow gun fools, right? I think this is as good as this type of game can get in 1999, and it's still fun today. You know, there is a Night Dive version of this game. Night Dive Studios, who ports a lot of like N64, PS1 era stuff, right? They did do Shadow Man. So like that version is out there. I think we both need to play that now. I feel like this N64 version wet our whistle to like...
Yeah, definitely. Next time I see it on some kind of sale, because let's face it, they do things on sale all the fucking time. I'm going to grab it.
Anyway, Shadow Man's cool as hell. I'm going to give it a... It feels a little generous giving it a B. It probably deserves something more like a B-. I'm going to give it a B because the concept is so great, Steve.
Yeah, I'm joining you in that B. It's winning me over on the concept alone. It's a B.
It's a B game. Well, that's about it. We went through another 6 games. We'll be back for another 6 games. Hopefully, there's some interesting GameCube stuff up there that we can do next time. At that initial Switch 2 presentation, we saw the games that they were teasing, and it's like, I don't think any of those are really...
Soul Calibur 2 is like the most there of the choices.
And even that's like a very well-known entity, right? Like, I don't think there's any GameCube games there we can get into the muckety-muck with. I've never played Pokemon XD. I mean, like, I don't know if is that interesting. I don't know if that would be appropriate for this, but...
I mean, I think the Pokepals are itching to try those with me, but we'll see.
Okay, no, y'all have fun. No, you should do that. Well, hopefully we can find at least one GameCube game that's interesting enough for these purposes anyway. Anyway, thanks for listening. See you next time. Check the description of this podcast to find our names on social media, and we'll see you next time. Bye.